Hello again, my friend. Sit, take a drink, and let me tell you the tale of the Green Children of Woolpit. It was the time of the anarchy, the English Civil War of the 12th century. Empress Matilda and Stephen of Bullois had fought over the English throne for 19 years. And during these times of trouble, a rather peculiar situation would take place in England. Woolpit, or in Old English, Woolpit, is an ancient village in Suffolk named after, as one might gather from its name, an old pit for catching wolves. Ralph of Coggeshall described the Green Children arriving in the village of Woolpit. Decades later, the monk and historian William of Newburgh would also recount the same story. Historians would use these two reports to create the full narrative of the Green Children in Woolpit. Whether the story is true or false, nobody knows, but it has intrigued listeners ever since the 12th century. During the 12th century, the village of Woolpit was an agriculturally productive and densely populated part of rural England. One day, Woolpit's villagers saw two children, a boy and a girl, emerging from the wolf-trapping pits. They had green skin, spoke an unknown language, and were dressed in strange clothing. Both children, who were later discovered to be siblings, were taken to the home of Sir Richard de Calne, about 6 miles away from Woolpit. In their first several days there, the children refused to eat anything but beans. Over time they got used to different foods, and their green skin faded to a normal colouring. Sadly, the boy would become ill and die, but his sister survived. She eventually learned English and explained where she came from. According to her, she came from a land called St. Martin's Land, where the sun never shone. She and her brother were looking after their father's flock when suddenly they heard a strange noise, which caused them to enter a cave. When they crossed to the other side of this cave, the siblings arrived in Woolpit, where they encountered the reapers that discovered them. After this revelation, Richard de Calne named the girl Agnes, and she worked for him for years before marrying the Archdeacon of Ely, Richard Barr. According to one report, the couple produced one child. The question remains, is this story a folk tale, or actually part of real history? Throughout the years there have been numerous theories attempting to explain the children's origins. One theory is chlorosis. The children could have been suffering from hyperchromic anemia known as chlorosis. The condition is caused by a poor diet which turns a person's skin green. However, after eating a normal amount of food, the skin returns back to normal. Theory 2 is arsenic poisoning. This theory states that the children had arsenic poisoning. Because of this, their caretaker left them to die near the Norfolk-Suffolk border. Theory number 3, they were Flemish immigrants. During the 12th century, many Flemish immigrants arrived in England. The siblings could have been children of Flemish immigrants who were killed in the Battle of Farnham in 1173. Farnham St. Martin was a nearby village, so it's possible the children were orphans, entered an underground mine passage in the area, and eventually arrived in Woolpit. However, it also seems unlikely that Richard de Calne, an educated person, wouldn't recognise Flemish if the children spoke it. Theory number 4, extraterrestrial origins. In 1621, Robert Burton, the English scholar famous for his book The Anatomy of Melancholy, hypothesised that the Green Children fell from heaven. This idea would continue to gain popularity in Francis Godwin's speculative fiction, The Man in the Moon. Theory number 5 is actually my favourite theory, and one that I'm surprised hasn't come up more often. Parallel universes. The children entered a cave or portal and somehow moved between worlds. The story would later serve as an influence for poets, novelists and even operas. Kevin Crossley Holland wrote the children's story The Green Children in 1966, and later a children's opera based on the same story. Herbert Reed, a famous English poet and philosopher, would write the most famous retelling of the story in his The Green Child in 1935. The list of artists and writers who were, and still are, influenced by this story goes on and on. Even though the real facts about the case may never be known, the story continues to fascinate people, creating new stories for each generation. Then, of course, there's the fact that Agnes supposedly married and had a child, which would lead you to think that somewhere residing in Suffolk are the descendants of the Green Children of Woolpit. And so there you have the intriguing tale of the Green Children of Woolpit. If you enjoyed the story, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Have a safe journey home, my friend, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.